In this video, I'm going to share with you how I create a personal zero-based budget based off of Dave Ramsey's zero-based budget teachings, all using an Excel spreadsheet coming right up. Hi everybody, I'm Antoinette and welcome back to my channel. At Frolic Encourage, I like to make videos on travel, food, and lifestyle, and today we're talking about how to create a personal zero-based budget based off of Dave Ramsey's zero-based budget principles. In my how to create a grocery shopping budget video, I said that I would make this video, which is how to plan out your monthly expenses, even your annual expenses, using a zero-based budget, and here we are today. So give this video a thumbs up and click the subscribe button and let's get straight into it. So what exactly is a zero-based budget? A zero-based budget is a budget where your income subtracted by your expenses equals out to zero at the end of the month. That doesn't mean that you have no money left over at the end of the month. What it really means is that every dollar that you bring in is assigned to a specific category. For example, let's say you make $1,000 a month and your expenses are $800 a month. That means you have $200 left over that you must then allocate to a category, whether it's savings, debt repayment, or saving up for a large purchase. At the end of the month, your budget needs to have a nice little zero at the end of it and every single dollar assigned. This helps you keep track of your spending as well as stay on target to your financial goals and any debt payoff strategies if you need to. I've been on a zero-based budget for a number of years now, and it has helped me to pay off over $60,000 in student debt, provide for a down payment on a home, and take some really great vacations. And I still have financial goals that I want to achieve. So I use my Excel spreadsheet template that I'm going to show you today to keep track of everything. Now, you don't need an Excel template. I also use the EveryDollar app, which is free to do this. You can do this by hand if you so choose, but I find that for my plans, Excel is the best because I can just type the numbers and they automatically calculate, and I can copy year after year and just kind of tweak the numbers. So to me, it's a sustainable method, but it doesn't have to be the method you choose. I'm going to show you how I create my personal zero-based budget using an Excel template, which is a digital download that I'm offering. It's super affordable. The link is in the description down below for my Etsy shop. And let's just get started on how to create your personal zero-based budget. So if you've ever searched how to create a zero-based budget or how to make a zero-based budget in Excel or even how to budget in Excel, you're in the right place today. This is my zero-based budget template that I personally use to keep track of finances. I use this to pay off debt and to reach all of my saving goals. So I'm so excited that I get to share this with you today. The first thing you want to do is start off with your income. As we can see in my zero-based budget template, we have a section here for income. This is where you'll list any of your jobs, your side hustles, any gift money you receive, child support, alimony, everything for the month. So I'm going to enter in each monthly income item that I have. So I have my main job, side hustle monies, Huns money. If I want to add additional income, all I do is click somewhere in the middle, not at the beginning or not at the end, somewhere in the middle, and then go up to here and click insert, and it automatically inserts a row for me. I can also undo this if I make a mistake, and I can also delete rows by highlighting the row and clicking on the delete button. Either way, you can add as many or take away as many income sources as you'd like. My zero-based budget has each month listed at the top, so you can plan your budget based off of just a single month or the entire year, whatever is up to you. I find that doing this on a yearly basis is really helpful because a lot of the income and the expenses repeat. So if I only do this once, all I have to do is tweak it every month as I get paid. So I'll start off by entering in a salary here of just $2,000, any side hustle money of say $100, and maybe Huns check also $2,000 for the first check. So this spreadsheet is not only based on the month, but also based on when you get paid. So I get paid on a bi-weekly basis. So I would use pay period 1 to enter in my income, and then also pay period 2, the second time I get paid, to enter in my income. But I have up to 4 pay periods in this spreadsheet. And if you get paid on an irregular schedule, that's fine. Just enter in all your income sources here for each time you get paid, and you'll be good to go there. We have our income at the top, and as you saw, our monthly income automatically calculates for the month of January here. Here, I'm just gonna copy and paste this for the 2 times that I get paid. I'm gonna right click here and pay special, just the values. And so the total income is $8,200. It automatically calculates for each of the pay periods. So after you've entered in your income, the next thing you want to do is list all of your expenses. If we scroll down just a little bit, we can see the whole section for expenses here. And you have a space to enter in up to 22 expenses per period. And like our income category, if you wanted to add a new expense category, all we have to do is highlight somewhere in the middle of the expense category and click on the insert button, or we can click on the delete button if we don't need all of those expenses. And I'm just going to rename the cell with all of our expenses. We have a mortgage payment due every month. We have a water bill, a cell phone bill, a monthly train tickets for when I go to work, loans. And if you're debt free, you won't have loans to put in this section, but groceries. And I did a whole video on how to budget for groceries if you want to check that out in the link above. Enter in any type of expense that you have in this category along with the payment. So let's say the mortgage is $1,500, the water bill is $100. And these are just my planned expenses. When the actual expenses come in for the month, I will change these numbers directly. At the bottom of the row, the total that we have budgeted appears here. As you're entering in each of your monthly expenses, don't forget to consider what the due dates are for those bills and the pay period in which you get paid versus the due date, and any payment methods, if it's automatic draft, are you paying by check, by credit card, what date of the month. And so to help out with that, I have an additional tab here that I've created called Bill Details. This is where you can enter in any detail you want about any particular bill. For example, if I am talking about my mortgage company bill here, say my mortgage is $1,500 a month and my interest rate is at 3%. And this is a bill that I pay on a monthly basis. And this frequency category here is something that you can customize. My bill is due for the mortgage company every single month as opposed to a particular month. It is due on the first of every month, and since it's due every month, this time until due category will be 1. If my bill was due on a weekly basis, then I would type in 4 here. As you can see, the per month cost automatically calculates. If I had a weekly payment here, so I would enter in the company name, and say I had to pay about $75 a week for this bill and the interest rate was 0. I would pay this on a weekly basis and it was due every single month on no particular date, so I'll leave that empty. So I would type in 4 here because the time it is due, it's due 4 times a month. If my bill is due on a weekly basis, 4 times a month, my per month cost automatically calculates. So this $75 amount times 4 times a month, per month, I would have to pay about $300, and I would enter that $300 in my zero-based budget here. I can also type in the pay period that I want to pay. So if I get paid on the 1st, I can go back to my zero-based budget. I can put in the date here. I get paid, let's just say January 15th. I know that if I get paid on the 15th, then I would have the money for this bill in pay period 1. For my mortgage company, let's just say they accept a personal check, and you can customize any of the payment types listed here by just clicking on this custom tab. I can enter in whether or not this is an automatic withdrawal. I can enter in the customer service telephone number if there are any problems with my mortgage payment here. I can enter in the mailing address for my mortgage payment. I can enter in the website of my mortgage company, my specific account number, and if there's a login involved, my username and password. So this is the ultimate tracker that'll help keep you focused on what bills are due and when. What Dave Ramsey teaches in Financial Peace University is it's not just about paying your debt and your bills, it's having that financial peace and preparing for situations that may not be the most pleasant or where you may not be available to manage your finances, but somebody else can pick up this sheet and continue on with your debt repayment journey. When you're listing all of your expenses, also don't forget to include your seasonal expenses. So if you have a car insurance payment that is roughly $500 at 0 interest every 6 months, don't forget to enter in that here. And say my car payment is due every April, every 6 months on the 14th of the month. So since my car payment is due 6 months from now, I will type in 6 here. It's due in 6 months. And as you can see, my per month cost for this $500 payment is broken down to $83.33. This helps you to save away for any larger expenses and not be caught off guard when that bill comes due. You will have saved a little piece of money every single month towards this expense. So don't forget those expenses that happen quarterly, biannually, once a year, every 6 months. In this frequency button, you can choose the frequency of this bill and also customize it to what you need. And don't forget holidays like Christmas and Thanksgiving. And don't forget to divide the cost of those expenses. So if you're doing this by hand, don't forget to take the bill amount and divide it by when it's due. So 6 months, if it's due biannually in 6 months, or if it's due quarterly every 3 months, take that bill amount, divide it by the amount of months until it's due to figure out what your monthly costs are, and then include that monthly cost in one of the pay periods in the zero-based budget tracker. Make sure that you include any miscellaneous expenses for things that just might pop up and allocate a certain amount of your budget towards that. And don't forget to include your fun money. You can't go cold turkey. I tried it, it doesn't work. Include a reasonable amount to have fun. So whether you like to go out, to dine with friends, or to attend any events or activities, if you have a hobby, include those expenses in your monthly budget tracker. If you're going to create a zero-based budget, when you look at your monthly income versus your expenses, this number here needs to be 0. And this tracker automatically turns green if you've reached that, or it turns red if you've overspent or underspent. So as you can see, we have a full $6,095 left to assign. So step 3 is to determine what's left over. For this particular pay period, I can see that I have $1,995 left to assign, and I haven't even entered expenses for pay period 2, which means I have a full $4,100 left to assign. If there's money left over like this, then reevaluate what your expenses are for that month and make adjustments. So if these are all of my expenses, let's just say for miscellaneous, I'm going to put an extra $100 towards miscellaneous. I'm going to put $100 towards any fun money for myself and my hun. And if these are all the expenses for that period, then I can create, of course, a category for savings and put this entire amount. So I can put $1,795 towards my savings, and my left to assign becomes 0. In my expenses for the second time I get paid for the month, let's just say I have electricity that's due and a couple of other items. So here we have $2,600 left to assign. We have to give this $2,600 a home, and that's what makes this a zero-based budget. So if I reevaluate what I have in my expenses category, I can see that, hey, if I have a credit card or a loan that needs to be paid off, then I can go and include that in this. So I will delete this $500 and I'll just change that to the $3,100. And then, wow, I have no more monies left to assign. And for January, I have a zero-based budget, which is absolutely phenomenal. This is something that you want to repeat every single month of the year. It gets easier because as your bills kind of stay the same for the most part, but maybe the amounts change a little bit, or maybe if something pops up, you can always enter in your expenses. And what's beautiful is that if you have any debts, I also included a debt payoff tracker where you can list every single one of your debts in the column here, your starting balance for the month, your ending balance, and how much you've actually paid off per month. You can get totals for all of your debts for the entire month in this cell, C4 here, and you can figure out how much you have paid off based on the debt. And your total debt payoff for all debts is listed in this corner. It is really a phenomenal way to track all of your debts and your spending. And furthermore, for our zero-based budget, there's also a chart here. If you're more of a visual person, you can track your income versus your expenses. And as you can see here, our income, which is the green bar, versus our expenses, the gray bar, all evens out, which is what you want to see every single month. And it includes the totals right here. The yellow is the left to assign, and since we're in a zero-based budget, this yellow section should be non-existent. If you need to tweak anything for any reason, like say we only paid $100 here and we didn't assign any amount for January, we can go back to our chart and it automatically updates for you. So you can see your income versus your expenses and how much you still have left to assign for the month. So you want to repeat this for every single month. The beauty of this spreadsheet is it calculates everything for you, and if you want to add a special note for something, like say there's a birthday involved, you can add a note by entering your amount, clicking in the cell, going up to the top under review, clicking comment, and you can say here, Hun's birthday, to make a note for yourself. If you want to see the note, all you have to do is hover over the little red section and there's your note. Now if you want to copy the budget for next year, all you have to do is right click on move or copy, click the create a copy button, figure out where you want to place it in this template, and then click OK. And you automatically have a copy of your budget here, and you can just change the year as you see fit. In addition to copying and pasting what's in the template, there are examples for you to play around with. So here's an example of my zero-based budget already filled out. As you can see, we have assigned a number of the months, but we still have left to assign certain dollar amounts. If you have money left to assign, the total is red. If we went over budget, then the total also chimes red. It isn't until you've actually reached a zero-based budget that each one of these cells is going to turn green. We can zoom on every page by just clicking the zoom button in the bottom right-hand corner. And as you can see, I have notes here for any sinking funds, like a vacation savings with a note here for travel, and any gifts for family members, I have a note for those as well. In our chart, you can see a full year's chart already filled out where we have our income and expenses and what we have left to assign, whether we have money left to assign or we have assigned way too much. We can go back to that month and make adjustments for the month of March. In our debt payoff tracker, we have our total debt payoff here with every single loan listed, the starting balance, ending balance, and the total paid off. Your ending balance should be the start of your next month's balance, but as we know, interest comes in between the 2 days, so whatever numbers you enter here and your ending balance, the total paid off will calculate down below. In our bill details, we have examples here for how to set each of your bills off with sample inputs for every single company that we have here. You can also change the colors by simply clicking in this cell, going to home, and clicking this little fill bucket here to change the colors to whatever you would like it to be. You can also change the currency by clicking column O and going up to this icon here and changing it to whatever currency you see fit. There are so many more accounting format symbols that you can choose here to whatever currency you would like. Our custom tab here, you can change the due dates, the bill frequency, the pay period, the month, the payment type, and whether or not you have automatic withdrawal to inform your bill details. And to create a new chart based off of a new budget like we did here, all we have to do is duplicate our chart. All we have to do is create a copy for our chart, hit OK, click the chart, go into the chart design tab that pops up, select our data. Immediately the data chart range will highlight. We will select the copied zero-based budget that we created, and we will highlight all of our category data from January to December. Click OK. And there we have a brand new chart. We can delete any sheet we want by just clicking the delete section here. And we don't have to worry about potentially changing any of the formulas, because if we do, the downloadable file is a template. So you can never copy over the template. You can only create new templates based off this. So when we save our template, we're going to save it and change the name and keep moving and keep reusing this month after month, year after year. This spreadsheet is exactly how I create a zero-based budget by entering in my income versus expenses for each of the pay periods every month of the year. I keep track of my bill details and I keep track of my debt payoff so I can get excited whenever I've reached a payoff for each of my debts. So in our example here, you can see for credit card 1, the balance was $567.32, and so by April you can see that the payoff amount is 0 and that the credit card was paid off at the end of March. And so you too can keep track of when you pay things off, so you can take that payment and then snowball it to another month's payment. The key to our zero-based budget is to make sure that our income minus our expenses equals $0 and that we have assigned every additional dollar that we make to a particular category, whether it's a savings, towards bills, a checking account even, just to make sure that we are reaching zero at the end of the month so that we can stay on track to our financial goals. Next week, I'm going to talk about how I create a meal plan to get some of those grocery budget spending dollars under control, so stay tuned for that. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to click subscribe to my channel where I like to talk about travel, food, lifestyle, and a little bit of money sprinkled in between. The link to my monthly zero-based budget Excel template is in the description box down below. If you have any questions or if you have any other video suggestions, I love hearing your suggestions. Please drop them in the comments down below and I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye!